20-year veteran pilot Mike Warren regularly uses his single-engine plane to commute to work. As a crane operator, Mike travels to various locations, so his Cessna 150 is a quick and easy way to get around. It's early morning and Mike is on his final approach to Seattle's Boeing airfield. He's always believed that flying is a lot safer than driving, but moments from now, that belief is going to be tested. The airfield is not busy and everything looks good for Mike to make his descent.
Right now I'm approaching the runway, just getting ready to touch down somewhere in there, and all of a sudden the airplane started rolling. I know it was almost like it was going to somersault down the runway. I knew it was too close to the runway to be messing around with this.
Mike keeps calm behind the plane's controls as he attempts to gain altitude and steer clear of the traffic control tower.
And I started climbing for every inch of altitude and started looking around and trying to find obstacles.
One big obstacle is the electrical power lines standing directly in front of him. Mike adds full power to try and fly over them.
You think you make it dead and fly, 1 foot too low, lanes catch. It was just like being in a bunch of work.
Mike has flown straight into the power lines, and that's when the sparks fly. 26,000 volts worth pass through the Cessna's right wing, miraculously missing Mike. The plane finally settles. Because of the distinct possibility of being electrocuted, Mike immediately cuts the engine's power.
And then I said my prayers. And I prayed for strength and calm, and he came through.
There are no more sparks, so Mike turns the power back on and establishes radio contact with the Boeing tower.
We are getting assistance. Right now, we see you are getting assistance.
Firefighters are right there. First, they must turn off the power in the utility lines. The Cessna is made of aluminum, which is a good electrical conductor, according to Fire Chief Danny Seidel. Any stray sparks could send the plane up in flames.
We couldn't begin work without the electrical lines being de-energized, otherwise we would have endangered his life and the life of the rescuers.
Now, the firefighters order Mike to empty his fuel tank before spraying a foamy fire retardant underneath the plane.
You doing all right, Sean? Right here. Okay.
They called back and they said, remain very still. And I radioed back to him, Roger, said I wasn't planning on doing any jumping jacks.
Mike's sense of humor belies the severity of the situation. Everyone must be prepared for the worst.
If it felt I had no recourse, I would have been severely injured, more likely killed. And I knew that.
Is there any phone calls or any message you want to pass to anybody? At the moment, hopefully this will come out all right.
With their gear in place, firefighters establish a plan. Concerned it may take too long to try to lower the aircraft, pilot and all, firefighters decide to rescue Mike directly from the dangling plane. They begin by preparing hundreds of feet of strong rubber straps. The objective is to stabilize the plane by tying it to 2 large cranes. Working from an aerial basket, they first wrap a strap around the propeller. Then they must come up underneath the plane to form a type of cradle. The firefighters must work carefully. Even the slightest gust of wind could send the plane crashing to the ground.
The rigging that you see there now was just to stabilize the plane in the event it would fall with him in it.
The plane is secured. Now rescuers can begin the process of retrieving Mike from the confining space of the cockpit.
I'm hanging upside down from the seatbelt. Okay, it's across my head. I mean, it was starting to hurt. But I busted the top overhead of the plane out, so I was able to do handstands for a pretty good amount of time, just pulled the weight off the seatbelt.
After 4 hours of work, the rescuers are ready to get Mike out of his frightening predicament.
So the rescuers came up underneath, and I opened the door. They gave me a safety strap to put on, which I did, and came down the wing of the aircraft. It was just the easiest part of the whole operation.
Mike was uninjured in the ordeal and came out of the plane with an incredible story of how he got tangled in the power lines.
There was an aircraft that had departed less than a minute before me. The aircraft was quite a bit bigger than mine, but yet it was small enough that the FAA wasn't required to give me a warning. So it had taken off was just about exactly the point that I landed. It had 2 big props on it, and these props really make the air swirl. So there's these 2 big swirling horizontal columns of air there. And this airplane, when it takes off, takes a lot of runway. And so it left a long trail of it. So I came down right into it. When I got into it, I was not getting away from it.
Mike managed to keep the plane under control, but once he regained altitude, he miscalculated the height of the power lines and flew directly into them, flipping upside down. Incredibly, a tiny piece of metal underneath the wheel caught on one of the lines and kept the 2,000-pound aircraft from falling. It's an experience Mike will never forget and hopefully never repeat.
Sometimes you're going to get into situations that are beyond your control. So all you can do is do the best job you can.
Mike couldn't have done a better job in remaining calm during the painstaking rescue. It made the rescuer's job that much easier. Mike's love of flying has not wavered. He still flies to work and has a new project on the horizon. He's building a brand new specialized plane that he plans to fly around the world.